So we have discussed in yesterday's shloka, text number 24. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmagnao, Brahmanautam, Brahmevate Nagantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. So, person who is absorbed in the Supreme Lord, he wants to see the Supreme Lord, he will offer everything to the Supreme Lord, and in that, the fire and everything is Brahman. Now, not everybody is performing that kind of yajna, and according to their qualification, they are doing different kind of sacrifices, which will be explained in the coming shlokas. So please chant after me. Here, there will be two kinds of sacrifices being performed, will be explained. One is performed for the demigods, other is performed for the impersonal Brahman. And we shall try to see which are the ladle, which is the Agni, which is the fire, what is the consummation. We will try to do that if possible. Please chant after me. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 4, text number 25. दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं
योगिनः पर्युपासते
योगिनः पर्युपासते
ब्रह्मज्ञावपरे यज्ञं
ब्रह्मज्ञावपरे यज्ञं
यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति
यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते
ब्रह्मज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति
ब्रह्मज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति
दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते 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 ब्रह्मज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति.
So, quiz number 1. What is the two kinds of worshippers being will be described in the shloka? Answer.
One is demigods and another is the impersonal nature of the Lord.
Demigod worshipper and the worshippers of impersonal Brahman. So now quiz can be surprise also before the shloka, in between the shloka, and after the shloka also. So remain awake. First we will read the translation. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. Now the Supreme Brahman refers to the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. You please read this. Now I'm going to speak this. Devam eva apare yagyam. Devam means the demigods. Eva means like this. Apare means some others. Some others worship the demigods. Yagyam, through sacrifices. Who are these people? Yoginaha paryupasate. Worship perfectly. Paryupasate would have been worship. And paryupasate means very nicely. Okay. Now they are also called yogina because they are connected. They are connecting through the yajna process by worshipping the demigods. And also paryupasate means they have very great faith in worshipping the demigods. Brahmagnau, in the fire of the absolute truth. Apare, again means others. Yagyam yagyena eva upajuhvati, that by the performance of sacrifice is something of that sort, they are sacrificing themselves into the Brahman. Now it is very difficult for me to explain how they do it, because I don't know the process of offering oneself in impersonal Brahman and never research into it. I don't feel the need for it also. So that details I don't know, but that's what we are hearing here. Devam eva apare yagyam yoginaha paryupasate. Certain yogis, they very nicely worship the demigods, Devam. And there are others, other than what has been described in text number 24. Is it okay? And they worship the demigods because they have great faith towards the demigods. Now you know, or maybe you don't know, Why they have a particular faith towards the demigod? Because they are influenced by that particular kind of mode of material nature. Those are in mode of goodness, they will worship certain demigods. Okay. At least you can hear my audio, it seems. Huh? Okay, fine. And Brahma Agnav is referring to the impersonal Brahman, which is considered like fire, in which they offer some sacrifices, and that sacrifice they try to sacrifice their individual identity. How do they do it? I don't know. Merging into Brahma is there, but you see, what is the exact process of meditating on Brahman? We have never researched. So that I cannot say because that is none of my business. Gita Bhushan commentary. But we just know the theory. Just like now, if you ask me which way the demigods are worshipped, I can't answer. That has not been described. Having described how actions become gyan by having the quest for the Lord and the Jiva as the goal, the Lord now speaks specifically of the different types of Karma Yoga. So what does it mean? It means that Brahmarpanam Brahmavishloka is applying for those people who also want realization of Paramatma as well as the realization of Jiva. And that's why they offer everything to Krishna, Supreme Lord. But there are others who may not be, how to say, inclined or desiring to realize Paramatma. So they do other forms of sacrifice. Eventually, they will get purified and then they will come to this stage where they're offering everything to Krishna, and then they will realize Krishna, but not immediately. So that's why different yajna performances are described here. Okay? Working, not working? Oh, in that case, I will have to spotlight. Then I can see. Yeah, it is working right now in front of me. कुछ भी mistake होती है in terms of audio and video, you let me know immediately, then we'll take care. Yeah, just text me. I'm now seeing it as a spotlight. Other yogis are devoted to or have complete faith in sacrifice in the form of worship of demigod devatas like Indra. So Paryupasite means they have very nice faith, or they are devoted to serving the or performing sacrifices for Indra. Daivam Yagyam. So now I think I have no experience, but maybe Mother Revati has experience of meeting people who have so much faith in worshipping a particular demigod, is it not? So you know people who are interested in Karma Kanda, they will have extreme faith in worshipping Durga Devi or Shivji or I don't know Indra. Have you met anyone worshipping Indra? Ganesh Ji mostly. Now people don't worship Indra also, is it not? Ganesh Ji, Shiv Ji, Parvati, not even Parvati, Durga Devi, the form of Durga Devi, like that. They do like that. इंद्र पूजा तो बंद ही है मेरे ख्याल में ना है आप क्या others and also some places Surya in Bali I saw they worship Surya so much. India also I have not Chhat Puja so something like that but not like really see there they worship Surya as a regular uh, action a routine kind of thing but they here India is not so much prominent I believe I mean I have not seen or maybe something is existing we have maximum is they will offer water to Surya maybe others such as those described in the previous verse are absorbed in offering oblations of ghee and grains into the fire which represents Brahman using the ladle yagena. Now it is very amazing for me to understand this thing how by offering ayagya and everything they merge into Brahman हमको तो समझ में कुछ नहीं आ रहा so I cannot understand but they were doing something that's what they understand. I don't know so I have to admit I don't know what is how they offer in the sacrifice and offer themselves when they want to merge in Brahma is beyond my capacity. Ladle is the chamach, the spoon by which they offer something. As described above, a person engaged in discharging duties in Krishna consciousness is also called a perfect yogi or a first class mystic. But why is like that? Very simple to understand. Because yoga means to connect your senses with God. So a devotee is directly engaging his senses in Krishna's service, so he is first class mystic. There is not much explanation needed in that regard. But there are others also who perform similar sacrifices in the worship of demigods, and still others who sacrifice to Supreme Brahman or the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. So try to understand. Just like a devotee is worshipping Krishna very nicely, there are others whose faith does not direct them to Krishna, but direct them to the demigods. The very important point you have to understand, all of us have faith. If some atheist tells you that you are faithful and he is not, that is his, how to say, misconception. Everybody has faith. Everybody has faith. It's a matter of in which way the faith is contaminated. Is it sinking in? If my faith is contaminated by mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness, they will be differently manifesting in terms of different actions in which I have faith. समझ रहे हैं ना बात? कठिन तो नहीं? So you see, it is interesting that because they are not having association with devotees, they worship demigods, thinking that it is very good for them. I have my own experience in this regard. One person, when I was working earlier in NTPC, my superior or my senior, so he said, we worship, we give equal respects to everybody, but if it comes to really worshipping, we worship Arkul Devi only. So you see, now you understand, Pariyupasate, they have fixed faith in their particular demigod. Have you met people like that? They may come to Krishna temple, they may come to Lord Ram's temple, Hanumanji temple, but their staunch faith is in particular Baba, particular demigod, which they are worshipping. Many people like that. Okay. And still others who sacrifice to the supreme Brahman or the impersonal feature of the Lord. So again, we know that there are people who are interested in Nirakar. So their faith is directed in that direction. So there are different kinds of sacrifices in terms of different categories. Such different categories of sacrifice by different types of performers only superficially demark varieties of sacrifice. Factually, sacrifice means to satisfy the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who is also known as Yajna. All the different varieties of sacrifice can be placed within two primary divisions, namely sacrifice of worldly possessions and sacrifice in pursuit of transcendental knowledge. Okay, this has to be understood. See, any sacrifice which has been described, we must understand the aim should be to please Krishna. Because people can't immediately have that consciousness, so they are somehow brought within the fold of yajna performances by allowing them to worship somebody else. कुछ समझ रहे हैं? People who can't have faith in Krishna directly, they are allowed to worship demigods. But we know that the result of the yajna is given by Krishna. It's difficult to understand? Very simple. So, and then a person who's worshipping Brahma Jyoti or aspiring to be merged in the Brahma Jyoti. Whose Brahma Jyoti is this? Krishna. So unless Krishna allows, they can't even merge into Brahma Jyoti, because Brahma Jyoti can't allow or disallow anything. तो ग्रहण कर रहे हैं कि नहीं? Brahma Jyoti cannot allow or disallow anything. वहां कोई सरकार नहीं है. There is no presiding deity in the Brahma Jyoti. So even that has to be. नहीं समझ रहे हैं? Who is the presiding deity of Brahma Jyoti? I will ask you in the quiz. No one. So there is no Brahma, there is light only. So there is no presiding deity, but the deity behind the Brahma Jyoti is Krishna. So those who want to merge into Brahman, they can merge in Brahman. I heard a story about Jagannath in this regard. Same, that somebody heard that Jagannath gives liberation, Sayuj Mukti, very easily. So he went before Jagannath and then is praying for Sayuj Mukti, and he got Sayuj Mukti. All this Mukti, again, evidence is from Bhagavatam. Salokya samipya sarshtim Sayuj samipyam Salokya sarshti samipyam. कौन से होते हैं? कौन से भूल रहा हूं मैं? सालोक्य सारूप्य सामिप्यम सालोक्य सार्षि सामिप्यम सारूप्यम एकमप्यतः ekatmapyatah. That means all the four kind of liberation, Vaishnav liberations, as well as ekatvam. Ekatvam means sayuj, liberation into Brahma Jyoti. Diyamanam na gradhanti. So Krishna is saying, or Lord Kapil Dev is saying, although I am giving All kinds of liberation, including impersonal liberation, still my devotees don't accept. So why I quoted this? To make you understand that impersonal liberation is also awarded by Krishna only. ये कहना चाह रहा हूं. So even if they are worshipping Brahman, impersonal Brahman, that also is awarded by Lord because they desire like that. ठीक है? Okay. So this is clear. All that. Now there are two varieties of yagyas. One is sacrifice of materialistic possessions, not materialistic material possessions. Dravya yagya, where you offer some flower, some fruit, or something like that. And there is sacrifice in pursuit of transcendental knowledge. Just like we are now doing a Gyan Yagya. Are you able to understand? Understand means knowledge, is it not? Sacrifice of knowledge. We want the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. I am speaking, you are hearing. Are we sacrificing our time to understand this knowledge? Can this be called transcendental, Gyan Yagya? But this Gyan is not impersonal Gyan, but knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Hai na? We hear from Lord himself, Gyan Yagyena. At the 18th chapter, it says, a person who understands Bhagavad Gita, try to understand, he is worshipping me through the process of Gyan Yagya, not Gyan Yoga, Gyan Yagya. Not Gyan Yoga, Gyan Yagya. And when we offer food to the Lord, that is Dravya Yagya. That is also within Bhakti only. Dravya means ingredients. That's like your rice, dal, and everything you offer to Krishna. That is within Bhakti only. But I'm just saying, there are two forms of Yagya. Are you able to understand? Dravya means money or how to say, physical matter, mundane, not mundane, but physical items, flowers, fruits, and all this, which is also very good. We don't say that we discuss Bhagavad Gita and don't offer food to Krishna, but there are just two varieties of sacrifices. Material positions, we give money or we, milk or anything which you offer to Krishna. So what is happening is that normally people may be either doing only Dravya Yagya or some people may be doing Jnana Yagya in pursuit of knowledge. But the Prabhupada very clearly explains that devotee offers everything. Material things he has, knowledge he has, everything he offers to Krishna. अंतर थोड़ा देख रहे होंगे. ठीक. सारोप्य सारष्टि. ठीक है. Those who are in Krishna consciousness sacrifice all material possessions for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, while others who want some temporary material happiness sacrifice their material possessions to satisfy demigods such as Indra, the sun god, etc. So this Prabhupada is distinguishing. First of all, a devotee understands everything what he has belongs to Krishna. So everything should be offered to Krishna. Even our clothes should be offered to Krishna. When we buy them new, we should offer to Krishna and then we accept it. Although I've never heard that we have to put tulsi on them. I don't know. I don't know really. But normally just you offer the clothes or at least touch to the picture of Krishna's lotus feet like that. And then we should wear them. Although the cloth is not for Krishna, but it is a matter of accepting that this cloth also is coming from you, my Lord. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of Yagya, that we are, expressing our gratitude for your causeless mercy upon us by which we are existing. Very simple, is it not? Simple. Some funny comment in Narsingh Purana. Very funny. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes in 10th canto, 14th chapter. Same way. He says, when the Lord, Mukunda, who gives liberation, is easily pleased by flowers and fruits, which are free of cost and easily available, then why you are working for Mukti? Did you get it? When Lord will anyhow give you liberation simply by offering you flowers and fruit, which are easily available. You may say they are not freely available. They are not available for free because you don't stay in Vrindavan and here is almost free. But Tulsi Patra is free, is it not? Water is free, next to free. Our water is not that costly. And what else? Fruits may not be that cost-free. But rice, dal, anyhow you're going to eat, is it not? So simply by offering your food to Krishna, you become liberated. अंतर देख रहे हैं? When we offer the same thing to demigod, we get some temporary thing, which is completely contrary to our Swarupa. You won't get anything spiritual by the demigods. With him, now it will bind us, it will not satisfy us. But by offering our dravyas to Krishna, we become liberated. Suppose you have honey and other things. Just like one devotee took lemonade, but did not offer to Krishna. So Krishna spoke as Paramatma through his brother. इसको ऑफर किया था तूने? Did you offer this also? And our pure devotee became very angry because the mistake was exposed in front of that devotee. We won't name them. Such a pure devotee, how can we? We can make fun, but we cannot actually name. No, no. But then that pure devotee learned the lesson. No, the lemonades also should be offered to Krishna. Okay, simply by offering water, Kaushik ji became Indra. So what to talk of if you actually offer a nice lemonade to Krishna? So main thing है तो क्या बात हो रही है? Krishna is very happy that we accept him as a person. है कि नहीं? बाकी को उनको लेमोनेड की कोई कमी है क्या? है कि नहीं? So very nice lesson we learned that whatever we have, mangoes or whatever we get, should be immediately offered to Krishna. That will grant us liberation. कितना आसान है, जरा सोचिए, विश्वास भी नहीं होगा ना लोगों को. And we have already read, those who don't offer their food to Krishna, they only eat sin. Nothing else, only eat sin. Okay, so we understood this point. So this first point proposed, contrasting the devotees against the demigod worshipper, is in terms of the rewards where they're going to get first, and in terms of the intelligence what they have. Clear है? समझाना पड़ेगा. Clear. Now again, the Srila Prabhupada will contrast the impersonalist with the devotees. And others who are impersonalists sacrifice their identity by merging into the existence of impersonal Brahman. The demigods are powerful. Before we go further, this you understood? This is a very strange idea, because we know that Atma can never be destroyed. So it has never, I could never understand how they can actually merge their identity into Brahman. So my understanding is they cannot do that. And Prabhupada says they remain as chit particles, conscious particles in impersonal Brahman. And not getting an opportunity to serve Krishna, they come back to this material world. Example, they will say Jagat is mithya, this world is false, and then they come back and open hospital in a false Jagat. This is foolishness. If I tell you, in my dream yesterday, I opened a very big hospital, bigger than Nayati, with super specialization. Oh, great man. कितना impractical है ना? ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? So it is kind of impossible that they merge their identity, but they try to do that. So they are impossible. But do the devotees merge their identities? No. Okay, let me just ask the question from the devotees here. Parrot and tree. I give you a hint. Explain. Speak in the mic.
There are two parrots on the tree. Two parrots, two birds.
No.
One is eating fruit and one is just saying.
That is in relationship with Atma and Paramatma. There is the same parrot and tree example is given in regards to impersonal Brahman and something else.
The color of the trees and leaves is green, and the parrot color is also green, but they both have a separate identity.
Yes. The parrot is kind of merged into the tree, but we know the parrot is not merged per se in the tree. Per se, you understand? It's not exactly, you cannot say. He has rather gone in the tree to enjoy the fruits. So similarly, the Lord the living entity goes to Vaikuntha. It is not merged. Rather, it enjoys the Supreme Lord. Different fruits of devotional service. बहुत अच्छा, good boy. We go ahead. देखिए, इसका बड़ा प्रभाव होता है. मैं बार बार इस बात को रिपीट कर रहा हूं. Unless we hear about the goal of life clearly, our efforts will not be really, how to say, satisfying, or how to say word, laser sharp, won't be really sharp in that sense. We are not, will not be even conscious sadhan kar kis liye rahe. Why are we doing, what we are doing, how we are doing, nothing. That's why hearing makes us fixed up, because many devotees will say this is also good. Also good means material life is good and Krishna consciousness is good, it makes me peaceful and I'm happy with being in the material world and also practicing Krishna consciousness. We may just begin to compromise with Maya. The demigods are, and I do keep on checking my students with that Maya check. I do that, whether they want to compromise with Maya or they want to go back to Godhead. Even I keep on checking myself, and we should all keep check. Do I want to settle with a compromise with Maya? Don't think she will not test. When Gopakumara was going, last stage of the material universe, Maya Devi's abode is there, and she says, "Oh dear devotee, why don't you stay here nicely? And the opulences are amazing." He said, "No." Nothing wrong in it. Whatever, you be honest with it, and as we practice Krishna consciousness, we don't want to compromise with Maya. Keep testing. You don't have to ask me. I'll do that. Don't worry. Don't worry. हम भी test करते रहेंगे. Just what happens is, if a person is too attached, I don't give him any heavy instructions. That helps me. If a person is detached, I can give him more stronger instructions. So this I'm learning. In that way, I can help and preach so many more devotees. You cannot give one sloka for everyone. समझ लेना मेरी बात. Vedas also don't do. So one shloka is not for everyone. ये भी ठीक है, sing his consciousness. वो भी ठीक है, sing other person's consciousness. Anyhow, उधर नहीं जा रहे, वापस आ गए. तो हम ब्रह्मन की बात कर रहे थे. We cannot actually merge in Brahman. The demigods are powerful living entities appointed by the Supreme Lord for the maintenance and supervision of all material functions like the heating, watering, and lighting of the universe. Very easy to understand, just like we have the government. Now, I don't want to focus on this point. I want to focus on this point that, are you not a living entity? Yes. But can you become Bhagavan? No. मैं खाली इसे focus करना चाह रहा हूँ. So no matter how powerful the living entity is, still it is dependent on the Supreme Lord. It can never become equal to Supreme Lord. That's why Prabhupada says those who are unintelligent, they worship demigod. They are not worshipping a person who is infinitely powerful. They are very powerful. What is it? Powerful living entities. But are they infinitely powerful? One point. Second is, are they free to give the results? Yes, they cannot give, they are not free. And in Bhagavatam, they are described as Karma Sachiva. What does it mean? Secretary of our karma. Secretary just notes down. What is that? What is that? What has to be done? So whatever we are doing, they reward as per that. Hai na? But devotees, pure devotees and Krishna, they give independent of our karma. Is it sinking in? And all of us can give to anyone what is not or what is beyond his karma. कुछ समझ रहे हैं इस बात को? If you give them Hare Krishna mantra, you're not giving him as per his karma. Sometimes people say, हमने बड़े अच्छे कर्म प्रभु जी किए जो आपको मिल गए. नहीं. Never think like that, that we are doing good activities, that we are associating with devotees. We should never think like this. We should always think somehow the mercy of Krishna we are getting associated with devotees. I am not glorifying myself. I am glorifying the knowledge which I am giving you. I am so same. I don't have any personal knowledge of myself. But when we are giving a Bhagavad Gita to someone, we are not giving as per his karma. Be very careful about it. Because of some piety, something, whatever, we may be receptive. That's a good thing. But don't think that our bhakti chance is absolutely dependent on our karma. कुछ ग्रहण कर रहे हैं इस बात को? His extreme mercy of the Supreme Lord. Extreme expression of his love towards us. I think all the devotees must be feeling, is it not? How much we are changed, how much we are actually enlightened also by the process of bhakti. So why I'm saying all these things? Demigods, no matter how powerful they are not, they are not independent, and they are not infinite, unlimitedly powerful, and they don't love you also. Be careful. They don't really love you, so they just do what they किया है तो दे देते हैं खत्म. Yeah, they are just karma sachiva. They have noted your karma and then give you. They don't really love us in that sense. Although another angle is if a person is a devotee of Krishna, they love then. But what I'm talking is they don't really love their worshippers. I'm not talking about a devotee. Devotee everybody loves. Okay, before I go further, quiz number 2. Do you know of any evidence where you know that the demigod has not loved his own worshipper? Bhasmasur, okay. Ravan is an option. Brahma ji is an option. Brahma ji gave him the benediction कि दिमाग खराब कर रहा है. Hiranyakashipu is giving a headache. Give him some. Jad Bharat's case where Jad Bharat was taken for sacrifice for in front of Mother Kali, and Mother Kali came in personally and killed her own worshippers. So I was referring in the sense that the worshippers don't, the demigods don't love their worshippers, but they love the devotee. So, yeah, a powerful example. Indra was worshipped by the Brajavasis. One time they did not worship, and they was ready to kill the whole village also. Shivji, yeah, Shivji was presiding. He was presiding the meeting in which there was a discussion how to kill Ravan. Quite good. So people can. So when we hear these things, then we know whom to worship. And just remember the qualities of Krishna. Anyone, in any way, anywhere has chanted my name, I will never forget his name. There is no one like Krishna. So when we hear his qualities, then we worship him. Nobody is, how to say, as Kritagya. How will translate Kritagya? Grateful. As grateful as Krishna. No, grateful. Kritagya means somebody has done something for you and you remember that. You acknowledge it. Nobody is like Krishna. Huh? Gratitude is always, just imagine we are infinitely small, and any service what we do is ultimately empowered through him only, and still he is grateful for the service being done. Hai na? So hearing the qualities of Krishna, why should we worship anyone else? So this we talked so many things about this. The whole theme was they are powerful, but they are not equal to Krishna. So devotee doesn't worship the demigods, but he definitely respects them. Those who are interested in material benefits worship the demigods by various sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals. They are called Bahu-Ishwarvadi, or believers in many gods. But others, hold on, here we understand. And I think you must have come across this argument by Hinduओं में तो बहुत भगवान है. In Hindu there are many भगवान, और सभी भगवान हैं. Otherwise जैसे हम तो सबको मानते हैं. क्या मानते हो सबको? हाँ, भगवान मत. तो यानी जानते हो भगवान कौन है, ऐसे मानना चालू करती है. Anybody they are worshipping, they say as is Bhagwan. And if you ask them what is Bhagwan, they have no knowledge. One boy was telling me in an argument, I feel Brahmaji, Vishnu and Shiva, they are all equal. मैंने कहा, they are all equal and you are supreme. You are equalizing them. Your opinion is supreme, is it not? You think your opinion is superior to all three of them. They are chota balak, they are small kids in front of you, they are all equal, of equal age, equal power, everything. You will determine everything. People are so proud, you know. कुछ नहीं है, चींटी भी नहीं है, and then they give such opinions. Who values their opinion? समझ रहे? So we understand that they are, but actually he was an impersonalist. You know that whenever these people say they are all equal, then you charge them. At least somebody should be supreme. Suppose I told him, okay, I was up till now Krishna devotee. Let me now become a Shiva devotee. I am saying Shiva is supreme now. Now you defeat me. Then he was confounded. You know, क्या करना है? Confused. No. Everyone is equal. When they say everyone equal, means they are saying that the impersonal Brahman is the source of all of them. That is their understanding. So they are ultimately impersonalist. There's a whole point. Two cannot be supreme, so they are saying actually impersonal Brahman is supreme. From there, all these forms are coming. समझ रहे हैं इस बात को? So they are. That's why basically they are pashandis. They are not believing anyone, for that matter. In Jaiv Dharma also same discussion happens. There is a worshipper of Durga Devi, and he is thinking that she is the wife of Shiva. Fine, not thinking. तो सही बात. But he is thinking Shivoham. I am Shiva. So the Vaishnava gives the argument. Right now you are thinking that she is mother. And when you become perfect, she becomes your wife. What is this? कुछ ग्रहण कर रहे हैं. Real funny comment, you know. What amazing. Shivoham, I am Shiva, I am Shiva. So right now you are worshipping her as mother. And later on she becomes your wife. What is this argument? Then that fellow becomes just quite. बहुत अच्छा book है जैव धर्म, really nice. So in the form of a, how to say, उपन्यास को क्या कहते हैं? Novel, but it discusses spiritual truths. Interesting. But so this is very clear. People who are demigod worshippers, they actually don't believe in one supreme Ishwar. They worship. जैसे किसी को भी मान लीजिए, and you worship that particular demigod. But others who worship the impersonal feature of the absolute truth and regard the forms of the demigods as temporary, sacrifice their individual selves in the supreme fire and thus end their individual existence by merging into the existence of the supreme. इसके बारे में हम कुछ पता नहीं. In the sense, I don't know what is the process, how they do it. It is hinted in 12th chapter. Klesho diktarastesham. Before that, what is the shloka? Sarvatra samabuddhaya. 12th chapter, I believe it is third or fourth shloka. That there are some people who are attached to this impersonal nature and they remain equal to everyone, and they are sarva bhuta hate rataha. They are equal. They are engaged in welfare activities for everyone. And that way, with lot of difficulty, they try to realize Brahman. You show me. Now the previous one, before that, it works in you. Yes. ये त्वक्षरम निर्देशम अव्यक्तम पर्युपासते सर्वत्रगम अचिन्त्यम च कूटस्थम अचलम ध्रुवम सन्नियम्येन्द्रिय ग्रामम सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूत हिते रतः. ये तो अक्षरम, which is beyond the perception of senses. Now you think, let us start meditating on Brahman for a few minutes. What is beyond my senses? है जिज्ञासा है ना, what is beyond my senses? नहीं आया समझ में. अनिर्देशम, which cannot be seen. निर्देश means here is Anish, here is Rahul Prabhu, here is Vipin Prabhu, but you can't do निर्देश of this. किस दिशा में ब्रह्म है? Let us meditate. थोड़ा अभ्यास करते हैं. अभ्यास कौन थी? सर्वत्र गम अचिंत्यम च, which cannot be thought. अरे thought ही नहीं आ सकता. You can't even think. सर्व, and it is everywhere, but you can't think. Kutastam achalam dhruvam. It doesn't move, remains fixed and remains as it is. Now what is that something which remains as it is? Tough ho gaya na? Sanniyamya indriya gramam. You control all your senses. We can't even control our tongue. What to talk of whatever. Sarvatra samabuddhaya. We remain equal to everywhere. Your intelligence should see equality everywhere. Te prapnuvanti mameva. They also attain me. Now here Krishna is saying they also attain me means attain their Brahman, impersonal Brahman, not Vaikuntha. Sarva bhuta hite rataha, engage in the welfare activity of everyone. So clear nahi na kuch. But if we talk about Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam is very clear. Very easy and very clear. Again, I love that comment. When dharma is seen, dharma is done. So now, when we don't know what is our sadhana, समझ में आया कुछ आपको 12 point सर्वभूत हिते रतः and all that, कुछ नहीं. जब when the dharma is not clear, when sadhana is not clear, how will we reach the sadhya? And that's why the Lord says klesho adhiktaras tesham avekta sakta chetasam. So those who are attached to the impersonal Brahman, the path for advancement is very troublesome. पढ़ने में कठिन है तो करने में तो और कठिन होगा. At least bhakti is easy to perform. Easy to read and easy to perform also. Chanting Hare Krishna is not that difficult. And taking prasadam तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है. I asked one devotee, you are getting fat. Yes, Prabhuji, I like sweets. So result dikh raha hai na, taking prasadam is not difficult and you become fat. And we get purified also in the process. But taking prasadam is much easier than thinking of something which cannot be nirdisht. At least I can say this is aloo ka paratha. This is here. This is mango. Not here. I'm just giving that. Everybody is meditating on something complicated. Is it not? Prabhuji, would you like to have this rice and this chawal which has been or rice and dal which is offered to Krishna? Kuch katin hai isme. But then you start meditating on something which you cannot see, which is beyond the senses. तो कितना मुश्किल हो जाएगा बताइए, है कि नहीं? So, इसीलिए क्यों पता नहीं लगे रहते इसमें. In other words, the fruitive workers sacrifice their material possession for material enjoyment, whereas the impersonalist sacrifices material designations with a view to merging into the existence of the Supreme. Try to understand this. They are sacrificing this material things, so that they can get higher enjoyment, swarga and other things. ये समझ रहे हैं? And what is the meaning of sacrificing their material designation? I am a Brahmana. I am a Kshatriya. Material designation means upadhi. So they sacrifice it so that they can merge into Brahman. What can you explain more than this? For the impersonalist, the fire altar of sacrifice is the supreme Brahman, and the offering is the self being consumed by the fire of Brahman. ये तो समझ में आ रहा होगा. They have this whatever conception of impersonal Brahman in which they offer themselves. अपने ही को आहुति कर देते हैं. Swaha, idam aham, whatever. Idam aham swaha, whatever Sanskrit. This is very, for me it is all very blank. I cannot understand these things. The Krishna conscious person like Arjuna, however, sacrifices everything for the satisfaction of Krishna, and thus all his material possessions as well as his own self, everything is sacrificed for Krishna. Thus he is the first class yogi, but he does not lose his individual existence. It's very simple to understand that a devotee is offering everything to Krishna. Manas, Deha, Geha, Jo Kishumur. That means mind, body, words, everything offers to Krishna. But he maintains his individual identity. Elsewhere, Srila Prabhupada makes a very nice comment. He says, if you talk about self-realization, there has to be self. Simple. Bouncer, is it not? Not bouncer, how to say, hitting the nail on the head. If you say, I am self-realized and I destroy the self, so who will realize the self-realization? Not don't know. I have deleted myself. If from the word self-realization you delete the word self, then it's a realization. Then the question is, who will realize and what realization you will get? You are saying Brahma realized. That means you exist, is it not? Something to be realized, you have to be there. It's a simple argument. Our acharyas, they destroy the arguments of these impersonalists like eating a dosa, something like this. Very easy. Okay, so I don't think there are any questions here. No questions. Impersonalists, they may be not desiring anything material or even spiritual, no desire for service to Krishna, totally inactive. Yes, something to that effect. They don't want to serve Krishna. Actually, it is called Tar Madhye Moksha Vansha Kaitaba Pradhan, Jaha Hoite Krishna Bhakti Hayantradhan. This is the highest form of sense gratification. Why? What is called sense gratification? I will not serve Krishna. That is sense gratification. So when you merge in Brahman, we don't serve Krishna for a long time to come. That is why it is called, and there is a sense of becoming God. I'll become God. Okay. Keep testing. Yes, yes. I will follow your order. They sacrifice their individual identity as separate soul, part and parcel of Krishna. We may think like that, but it is not possible because Atma has been already described as Avinashi. Okay. Now, they are an impersonalist comment from the Nirakar. We have criticized the Brahmavadi so much. So from the Brahman, there is some comment. Impersonalist favorite slogan, मिटा दे अपनी हस्ती को अगर कुछ मर्तबा चाहे कि दाना खाक में मिलकर गुल ए गुलजार होता है. In English, Which language is that, Mataji? Can you give English translation? Your English is also quite good. I need the word by word meaning, translation, and purpose of this comment. And she only posted to me, so others can't help it. Should I post to everyone? Okay, hold on. I should post it to everyone. So the commentators can post their comment. Mita de apni hasti ko. You okay? Let me just try to explain as Bhagavad Gita. I explain Bhagavad Gita shloka. Mita de apni hasti ko. It means you destroy your existence. अगर कुछ मर्तबा चाहे, मर्तबा I don't understand. मर्तबा चाहे, okay. If you want some power, huh? We are speculating. We don't know Urdu. कि दाना खाक में मिलकर गुले गुलजार होता है. If that particle is merged, oh, martaba means love. Sorry. So we'll again change our explanation. मिटा दे. Now we have the Vaishnav understanding. We'll अब उड़ा देंगे इसको. मिटा दे अपनी हस्ती को. Hasti means elephant also in Sanskrit, but you destroy your elephant. That means you destroy your mad elephant like false ego. Wow, we have a Vaishnava explanation. Mita de apni hasti ko. You remove your mad elephant, false ego, and यदि क्या कह रहे हैं अगर कुछ मर्तबा चाहे, if you want love of God, you destroy your false ego and become a humble servant of Krishna. This is good. कि दाना खाक में मिलकर गुले गुलजार होता है. दाना is very simple. No, दाना is then the one explanation कि दाना खाक में मिलकर. खाक means, oh very good. दाना means seed. Hold on. दाना means seed and खाक means mitti, means mud. So if you put the bhakti seed, the seed of bhakti is put in the heart, which is considered to be like the ground, then it fructifies into gule gulzar. Gule gulzar means fruit of devotional service. You get the flowers and fruits of devotional service. So Mataji, this is Krishna conscious. Yeah, Krishna sabhaje se bada chatur. So whatever you speak, we can give an explanation as per bhakti. This was really funny. Okay, Martma. Full speculation? No, this is bona fide concoction. Not speculation. क्या speculation क्या बताइए? Speculation को कृष्ण को अर्पित कर दिया. We did a sacrifice. This is speculation sacrifice. Speculation क्या कहेंगे हिंदी संस्कृत में? मनोधर्म यज्ञ. So whatever has been speculated, we offer to Krishna. Everything has connection with Krishna. Okay. Elephant like senses. Martaba means designation. So then again same thing. Martaba means designation. You give up your, but that will not fly. Agar kuch martaba chahe. No. We don't want to be. So anyways, let me destroy that. Now let me destroy this statement in a straightforward way. मिटा दे अपनी हस्ती को अगर कुछ मर्तबा चाहे. You destroy your existence if you want love. If you want love, and if you destroy existence, who will get that love? Let us now do the operation of this love. Who will get love? Love means you remain a person, is it not? If you say, I don't know what is the meaning of martaba, but if the martaba means love, then who will give you love? And first of all, who will give you love? Somebody who will give you love, is it not? You don't. I am not loving myself. So love has to be given by someone. कि दाना खाक में मिलकर, if we गुले गुलजार होता है. So now you suppose if we have destroyed the seed itself, if the dana has become destroyed, how the fruits will come? Fruits are coming from the seed. So this is not a proper understanding. Although, huh? What is that? Hooray. Nice or something. But anyhow, I'm depending on the explanation of the person who's given this. He's not an impersonal. He's just quoting them. Okay. So, अरे भाई आप लोग भाग गए. Mic drop. Oh, again difficult English. There is no mic dropping here, devotees. Okay. क्वेश्चन आंसर का टाइम जा रहा है, आप लोग मस्ती कर रहे हैं. नाउ लेट मी जस्ट आस्क द क्वेश्चन. What does the meaning of, just give me simple meaning, I know it is little difficult to understand. Devam evapare yagyam yoginah paryupasate. What does this mean?